So hey, here is a demonstration of our powerful computer vaccine at work. There is a big difference between software and malware. Software is any computer program that is intended to be run on your computer. You trust it to be safe and useful. But malware is designed to harm your computer or put your data at risk. With current technology, there is only a single process to install software onto your computer. Here, the software installation is initiated. The operating system processes the request, and the software is saved on your computer's hard disk. Using the same process, your computer initiates the installation of malware. The operating system processes the request, and the malware is saved on your computer's hard disk. Just like the installation procedure, your computer has a single process for running software. When you launch software, the operating system retrieves the software from the computer's hard disk. The operating system processes it and runs the software on your computer. You see your software being run on your computer screen. When malware is launched, the operating system retrieves it and the operating system processes the malware. Malware is now loaded on the computer and your computer is infected. With Atense computer vaccine, the malware is blocked from running on the computer. Atense introduces a second step, a security measure to protect your computer between the installing and the running of your software. As your computer is started up or reset, the kernel software driver retrieves an encryption and decryption key from an installed USB drive or loaded software module. When the system administrator initiates an install of a new software, the Atense installer will only install that software if it has been certified by Atense to be malware-free. When the installation process is initiated, the kernel software driver receives and encrypts the certified software. Then the encrypted software is saved on the computer's hard disk. When the certified software is launched, the kernel software driver retrieves the encrypted software, decrypts it, and returns clean code to the operating system. The clean code runs in your computer, and the results are displayed on your computer screen. Now, let's take a look at what happens when malware enters your computer. When the malware is received, it is saved on your computer's hard disk as is. When the malware is launched, it is retrieved and decrypted just like software. But this time, the process of decryption actually disables the malware and displays a warning message on the Atense system dashboard. Here on the right is a computer that represents a hacker's server. Its only mission is to deliver crippling malware to you that compromises your data. And here is the malware. The hacker's goal is to send that malware to the end user's computer on the left. The hacker sends an email with an attachment or places a downloadable file like a Word document or Excel file with a file name or a message that is designed to make you click on it. Once the user clicks on the content, the malware is transferred secretly from the hacker's server to the user's computer on the left. The computer on the left is protected with antivirus software like McAfee or Symantec. Now let's see this process in action. On the left side, we have a Windows computer that is protected with the Atense computer vaccine. As you can see, all the computer's antivirus protections have been turned off. And on the right is the Atense system dashboard, which will show us what happens when we unknowingly attempt to open some malware on a computer that's protected with our vaccine. We're going to try to transfer the malware from the hacker's computer on the right to the user's computer on the left. And the same process we used with the computer protected with antivirus protection, we'll be using here, using the same Word documents. Once the user clicks on the document, the same enticing message appears for the user. When our user launches the content, the macro will try to secretly download the malware in the background onto the computer. But this computer is protected with Atense's computer vaccine, and the malware is disabled. When we look at the dashboard, we see that the malware has been stopped and it's been blocked from running on the computer. On the right, we have a computer protected with a typical firewall and antivirus software. On the left, we have a computer that is only protected with the Atense computer vaccine. On both sides, we have the same malware. It's the very nasty WannaCry ransomware that has attacked tens of thousands of businesses and individuals and cost them millions of dollars in ransom. Now, we're going to launch the ransomware on the computer protected only with antivirus software. As we can see, the antivirus software and firewall failed to stop the attack, and the computer's been encrypted. This user's computer is completely useless, and a message requesting the user to pay a ransom to decrypt the files is on his computer. Here's the Atense dashboard. Watch and see what happens when we click on the same malware on the computer that's protected with our computer vaccine. All right, we're going to click on WannaCry, and the ransomware can't run. Our computer is safe. We see the message displayed on our Atense system dashboard. Now we're going to click on the malware, but none of it will run. Unlike typical antivirus programs, the Atense computer vaccine doesn't need to know anything about the type of malware or computer virus. It stops them all. Software that's not authorized to run on your computer simply will not run, while software which is certified to be malware-free will run without any problem. This is a regular Windows computer. Hackers have many ways of compromising your system. Some malware will try to use one of the built-in programs in the operating system. If it can get you to approve the changes, the malware can then give a hacker complete control over your computer and your data. And the malware goes undetected because it is burrowed deep inside the legitimate parts of your operating system. I've opened up a bunch of windows now to make it easier to show you how a hacker can compromise your system. In this example, I'm going to launch a ransomware program. A ransomware wants to make changes to my WMI command line utility, which is a critical part of the Windows operating system. You can see that the dialog box is asking if I want to allow this app to make changes to my device. Since the WMI command line utility is a trusted Windows program, I would probably click yes. And without knowing it, I would have opened up a portal to a hacker, allowing him to hijack my system. But right now, I'm going to click no. In this example, I'm going to open the command line utility cmd.exe, which is part of the Windows operating system. Let's say a hacker was able to hijack my system. He'd have access to all of the files you see here. And what's worse, he could access my computer for months, maybe years before I even knew he was there. He could use my computer to act as a slave, sending malware out to other unsuspecting computers. Another critical area of your computer is the regedit. The Windows registry is a database where Windows and many programs store their configuration settings. Some malware will make changes to your regedit and add itself to your operating system. If that were to happen, every time you restart your computer, you would also restart the malware. The Windows PowerShell is another area that malware will try to hijack. If your PowerShell is compromised, malware can open ports or communication channels to your system to give a hacker direct control. If malware is able to get into your system in any of those areas, chances are it will remain undetected for months or even years. Your computer could be used to send out other malware or protect a hacker's identity. And that's pretty scary, right? Now here's a computer protected with Atense's computer vaccine. We're going to go back through all of those critical areas of your system to show you how you can be protected with our vaccine. The Atense computer vaccine protects your computer at the kernel level. That means that we add another layer of protection before any computer program can even run. For example, on the right we have some real ransomware programs that use the Windows WMI command line utility to do their damage to your system. But as you can see, Atense is blocking this ransomware from launching. Now here's the cool thing about Atense. Even if that ransomware was somehow able to run, It couldn't do any damage because Atense would block it from running any software from the Windows operating system, as you can see here. We're going to try to act like malware and try to make changes to the WMI command line utility. But again, Atense has blocked us from doing any harm. The same with regedit. As you can see, Atense has blocked our hijack attempt. We'll now try to hack into the PowerShell.exe. Oh, and once again, Atense has prevented us from doing damage to the system. When your computer is protected with Atense Computer Vaccine, the only way to legitimately use those programs is with Atense's SafeLoad system. You can see that Atense has its own installer, its own login routine, which lives outside the Windows operating system, and has settings, including a list of programs which have been approved to run on the computer. Let's click on the settings now, and we can see the list of programs that have been restricted from running without Atense's permission. You can see here they are the PowerShell, the command line cmd.exe, the task manager, regedit, etc. The only way any of these programs can run is if an authorized user is logged into Atense's system. So let's try that now. Let's log into Atense's system. By the way, this software is still in development. It'll look a lot different when the product comes to market. I just want you to get a sense of how the system works. Once an authorized user is logged into Atense's system, then we can access all of those critical functions in the Windows operating system. As you can see, we are now able to run the computer normally. In this demonstration, we've shown how Atense's Computer Vaccine protects Windows system program files. But it is important to emphasize that Atense's Computer Vaccine can protect any kind of file or folder in the Windows computer. Quickly, I want to show you that once the Atense Computer Vaccine is installed on your system, certified software is able to run easily. I have here a copy of the Opera browser that I haven't installed yet. Watch how easily I'm able to install it and begin using the browser. Atense won't bog your system down. It's elegantly designed to keep your system running smoothly and safely. With Atense Computer Vaccine, your computer is protected and you can have peace of mind because your computer is vaccinated.